Hey everybody, it's time for patch notes 4.11. Na 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 na. And if that was quiet, that's because I had my hand over my microphone. I was fixing something. Anyways, welcome to patch notes. We're me and Kyle. Bonus content. We'll talk to you about the patches, what's important, what's happening, and what you need to be looking out for in the most recent patch for League of Legends. So, Kyle, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm actually pretty good today. I've had a good day.
That's good.
Had some vegetarian pizza at lunch. That was amazing. I didn't even like vegetarian stuff, but it was great. Yeah, I mean, it was so surprising. It was ridiculous.
Going vegetarian on me?
No, I'm not. I'm not. My friend was.
Can't you still eat sushi?
That would be pescatarian, and I would do that if I ever decided to do that. I would never give up fish. Kidding me? Sushi's too good. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into patch notes. In general, there's a lot of changes actually in this patch that are going to affect a lot of things. Actually, you told me one of what your favorite things was. I will tell you what one of my favorite things is later, because I did take a glance at something involving something that's been stupid for a long time. So it's being fixed. So let's start off with the bounty reward section of the patch. What's going to happen here is early kills are now going to be rewarded for 75% of normal value, not 60%. So you're going to get a little bit more. It scales up to 100% once you get to 4 minutes into the game. So if you didn't know, early first bloods were not worth that full amount. They changed this at the beginning of the season. Now it's going to be 75%, which I like a little bit more, because if you got an assist and your whole team participated in that first kill, you got like 36 gold. It was no gold.
Get a potion.
Yeah, you buy a potion. Congratulations, you were smart and you strategized. You can buy a potion. I understand that they don't want the game to snowball from level 1, but you should be rewarded for outplaying your opponent at level 1.
Yeah, if you make the plays.
I think it's harder to outplay your opponent at level 1 typically than later on. So that's going to happen. Kill streak bounty, personal bounties are not 20%. It's going to be 16% per kill. And then kill streak bounty cap, players will cap their value of 500 gold for like shutdown gold now at 5 kills, not 4 kills. So I'm okay with that. I don't think those are huge, but that'll be nice little changes. Instead of getting crazy bounty gold at 4. So
yeah.
They fixed the snowballing effect there a little bit. But I like the early kill limit. That one's nice. Here's what I like coming into this patch. Probably my favorite change. Turrets. Turrets now gain, instead of 25%, they get 37.5% per hit. Meaning, multiple things. Turrets now finish warming up after 2 shots, not 3. With a maximum of 75% bonus damage, it remains unchanged. That part's the same. Turrets select targets slightly faster. Another little glitch that has been a very annoying one in the game as well. But the main thing here is somebody can't just immediately start tanking towers early without taking more damage, which will be great for early dives that have been resulting in you dying, when in fact Elysian gets out after taking 2 hits, and it seems like nothing actually happened to him. Okay, those 2 hits will now be significantly more damage because it'll scale faster and it's more damage. So I like this change.
I think they need to raise the overall damage, like percent bonus damage that they can do, because the maximum is 75. I wouldn't mind it if it was like 150.
I wouldn't mind that either. I do agree.
And like have like a total of 4 hits, where if you're under turret for that long,
yeah,
then you're dead.
I do agree with that. I do like how it scales faster, because those first 2 hits, I mean, it'll scale immediately to those 2 hits, but those first 2 hits will make you rethink that engagement, because you're gonna get hit a lot harder.
The turret selects targets slightly faster is really huge in the bottom lane, because if you got ahead like with Caitlyn or like a long range AD carry and had like some ranged support, then you could basically just walk up and like shoot them while they're CSing under turret, and now you're gonna get shot if you do that. So
yeah,
I think that's a pretty good change.
I agree. I like the turret change. Experience, lane minions now grant experience at 1400 range, so a little bit easier to pick up experience when a little further back, although you should.
Oh god, now supports won't even have to be in lane.
Well, but that's, well, the bad supports won't even have to be in lane.
Yeah,
because good supports are up there. They should be.
They're front line.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into champion changes now. Starting off with Braum.
Thank the Lord.
His passive is concussive blows. Damage on that is going to be scaled down a little bit on the base damage, but actually is going to be scaled up as he levels. That's a good trade-off, actually. His early damage, yeah, it'll be the same overall. But it's just a little bit off early, not too bad. And then the debuff time for the stun proc is 4 seconds now instead of 5, so slight change. And then they did a bug fix on stand behind me. Small issue there with jumping to allies or over walls nearby things. I had that actually happen in, I think, the build. I tried to jump over the inhibitor, and it just cock blocked the crap out of me. And I gave the person I was jumping to the shield, but I just stopped moving. It was a really weird kind of glitch almost. So small changes to Braum. Shouldn't really affect him, honestly, too much, I don't think.
Still much needed, though.
Yeah.
Still too strong.
Next changes are to Heimerdinger. Some changes here. In general, Clarity added a new turret focus target particle for Heimerdinger that marks an opponent for the turret death, which is nice. And then they also added the new turret aggro and turret focus aggro particles for the player being shot by the turret. So it's a little bit easier to realize that you're getting super attacked by his turrets.
Yeah. Instead of just like these little balls coming out.
Yeah, because I mean, in all that chaos, it's a little bit tough to figure out, like, oh my god, it's actually murdering me right now. I didn't know that wasn't just a super minion hitting me once or something. It was actually turrets going on my face. So, yes, small changes. Next, we have Jax. Jax's general stats are going to get touched. Base health is going down a little bit from 561 to 535. Health per level going down from 98 per level to 85, and his armor per level going down to 3 from 3.5. His damage should still be fine. This will just make him a little bit easier to kill early on instead of him winning those exchanges with just a little bit more health. It should be a little bit more equal. So it's a good approach to wanting to tweak numbers on a champion without actually touching their damage. So that part doesn't feel different. You just have a little bit less health and resist. So I'm okay with these changes. It's
a good change. He was like, when he got his ultimate and kicked that on, he was way too strong.
He's beefy
for not having any like most of the time. By the time you hit level 6, what do you have, like maybe a ruby crystal to go into phage?
Yeah. And
you would just like, even if you were like Renekton with a giant spell, you would still get just like Shrek'd. So that's a good change.
Yeah, I like it. It works for me. Next we do have Karthus. Next it's his Requiem. They fixed a bug on that. Team alt HUD indicator green dot wouldn't display. I also saw that too a few times. It was messed up. So good fix, just a little tweak on him to get that so it is displaying correctly. Next, we actually have a few changes happening to Kayle in this patch. Some good changes. Starting off, she's really strong. In general, her attack speed per level is going to be reduced a little bit from 2.5 to 2.2. Next is her Righteous Fury. The bonus ability power ratio on that is going to be taken down from 0.4 to 0.2. And then her intervention cooldown is actually going to be on a longer cooldown now. Instead of it being 90 down to 60, it's 110 down to 80. She builds a little bit of cooldown reduction anyways, so that's one of the reasons why they can do this effectively. It'll still be on about a minute cooldown late game. So I think these changes are needed. She's really strong. It's the Hurricane build right now, making her a pretty strong champion.
The big thing here is just the alt, especially for like high elo and competitive play, just because you pretty much get in a fight about every, that long, at least like a little scuffle with someone else. But like the attack speed is kind of not that big of a deal, just because you build so much attack speed in your build with the Renans and Nashor's Tooth, and then Righteous Fury, it's kind of just splash damage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I personally think that they either need to tweak her scaling.
You're fine.
Tweak her scaling movement speed with her heal, or like make her slow, not last as long, because Kayle's big thing is if you're fighting her one-on-one and she has both those abilities and she has any AP at all, she's going to be able to get away or get closer really, really easily and just kite you into oblivion.
Yeah, I agree. So. I like these changes. I changed off sharing because we were frame rating weird.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, it's weird. I also forgot to start the music. I was going to have background music, guys. I was going to have this shit taken care of today, but I slacked off. It's going to make a more enjoyable patch notes. Maybe I can turn on now.
It's Tuesday.
Covering your face.
I think it's fun.
Actually, boom! Nailed it. Actually, I didn't cover your face up. It's capturing from Skype, not from that. All right, next we have Lucian, who is up. And
this is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, this is them basically saying, yeah, we know he's strong, but he's still strong. So look for future changes to Lucian. He's a guaranteed pick or ban pretty much in the LCS right now.
Yeah.
That's because he's got a great kit. As most people who knew or could recognize, he has a great kit. I said it day one when he came out. He's a better version of Quinn. And Quinn is a good duelist, but he's a better version of it.
The thing that I like, the Lucian's still easily the strongest AD carry, but the changes last patch really kind of shook up the AD carry ranks. Like now you see Tristana a lot, Kog'Maw quite a bit, and those are champions that like
hell, we even
weren't
saw Ashe.
played. Yeah,
I like
those champions that weren't played prior to the patch change, and that's just because when you nerf Bloodthirster champions like Lucian or like Caitlyn that primarily bought Bloodthirster first, like kind of struggle now.
Although the old Caitlyn build's back.
Yeah, you just go double Doran's IE.
Yeah, I love the IE builds. I'm excited that those are back.
Yeah, it's just it changed the landscape of AD carries, and now like I'm surprised that Vayne hasn't been picked up since Kog'Maw without his W has pretty short range.
Yeah.
And Tristana in the early ranks has pretty short range, so I would expect more hyper carries to be kind of coming up, like Kog'Maw, Vayne, and Tristana. But
yeah, I totally agree. I'm surprised. Maybe double if we'll pull it out soon.
Especially if they're gonna nerf Lucian. Like if they nerf Lucian, Vayne's gonna see a comeback because
Lucian could kite too easy against Vayne.
Yeah, and Lucian could just poop on Vayne because of his double shot.
Yeah.
So.
Because if she ever went in hard with that movement speed and everything, like yeah, he's gonna jolt backwards, double shot, Q double shot, WW shot. He's just gonna just burst Vayne down. So
you're basically gonna take about 8 autos before you get your like
3 rings.
Silver boards. Yeah,
it'll be tough. So next we have changes to Maokai. A lot of weird things. Maokai. First, starting off with his Arcane Smash, the slow duration on that is actually being reduced to 1.5 seconds, but the mana cost has also been lowered by 10. On the Twisted Advance, the cast time or wind up of it has been removed. Travel time remains the same, but he's just gonna start instead of, because he just kind of like had that quick pause. It was weird. The damage on that is going to be taken, instead of it being 82 to 20 plus 8% ability power, it's going to be 9 to 15% of the target's maximum health, and then 0.04 ability power, which I like more because you're really not building tons of ability power on him. So
yeah, because you can do damage without using ability power.
Exactly. So I like percentage damage for tanky people like this. Mana cost on that's going to be 75 at all ranks. It's not going to be 75 to 95, so that's good.
But
what?
Like percentage health damage on a tanky target can lead to things like Shyvana.
I agree, but I don't think we'll see that. Hopefully.
Oh, not with a cooldown that's going to be 13 to 10 or like 9 to 13 seconds.
Yeah. So but yes, I agree.
Ooh, huge nerf on the range though. Wow.
Cool. Actually, I have a positive about that in a second. Cooldown instead of 13 at all seconds, it's going to scale down to 9, so that's also good. It'll be better for longevity in team fights. And then his range on it, instead of it being 650 now, it's actually 525. Now, the reason I actually like this change, unfortunately, it does screw him up when it comes to actually hardcore gap closing. But one thing I do like is, and I know this has happened to everybody, think about it. You've ganked and it's come back up and you're about to disengage, but you can actually re-engage with Twisted Advance, and you do it, but it takes you too far away from the person on your team you're fighting with. I've overextended with Twisted Advance multiple times with Maokai because it goes a little further than you think. So I think this actually kind of helps bring him back,
especially when they start to walk backwards.
What?
Well, like now, I think if they would have left the range the same, like without the like hesitation, like that's just a whole nother probably second by the time that you get there that they can walk backwards even farther away from your allies.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you're saying, but like if they don't have if it doesn't have the wind up time, then I can see it both ways.
I don't see it being the end of the world. But I mean I've had that problem many times where you do it and you're way too out of range, then you're like, oh god, I've overextended, now I'm dead. It's a weird way to accidentally overextend. Next, his sapling toss. Sapling movement speed now scales with his base movement speed. Enemies damaged by a sapling explosion are now slowed by 50% for a second, which is a nice added tool to it, I suppose. Sapling base movement speed is lowered, though, because of the scaling ability of it now. Landing on the magic damage side when it lands, it's going to not scale as high. which is okay, I suppose. Explosion damage also doesn't scale quite as high. It's just a little bit off the base damage, really. Not a ton. Its mana cost is being reduced, though, by 10 at all levels. So small change to mana costs. And then finally, one of my favorite alts, actually, to his whole kit is his ultimate, his Vengeful Maelstrom. What happens here is he casts it on himself now instead of on an area of the ground. So it'll be
moves with him.
Around him, yes, and it travels when he moves around. Its also initial cost is cheaper. It's down from 75 now to 40, and the radius is a little bit smaller, but once again, it's around you, and it's going to be much more effective while fighting.
Because it's moving, yeah. So I personally think that he's going to be a great initiator now with sapling toss, because you can just throw that baby and like let it slow someone and then catch up with Twisted Advance and then just cast your ult on yourself, and then your team can kind of collapse upon you.
Yeah.
Because he has so much slow. Like he has his Q, he has, you know, obviously his W is a root, I think, and then the sapling toss is a slow. So like he's going to be pretty easy to initiate with now. It's just kind of always that shaky when you're going in all by yourself, especially with all the high damage numbers that we have in League right now.
Yeah. I like these, though. These are going to be...
Yeah.
I'm really excited to play him again, especially with other changes coming up. Next, we have Nautilus, who is seeing a few changes to his passive. There's now an indicator that shows how long until you can use that staggering blow on the same target, which is good since you couldn't use it back-to-back. Nautilus can now target this effect on the same champion every... Instead of 9 seconds at all ranks, it's actually 9 going down to 6 as you scale. So it'll be more effective later throughout the game, which is great because his passive is a big part of his kit, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of going to go back to kind of what we were talking about like kiting for hyper carries, because 6 seconds is not that long, especially in a fight. Like, no. You'll probably be able to stun each person twice in the fight, given that someone doesn't die right away. But that's not that long at all. 6 seconds isn't anything. It's a good change.
Another thing that people forget about Nautilus too. I know ever since the introduction of Thresh, which it's been a while, hook champions have been pretty popular. Obviously, Blitzcrank still fairly popular, not as popular since Thresh, because Thresh is a more detailed, fun version of Thresh. But people forget about the Nautilus hook. It's one of the better hooks in the game, too. It's probably the easiest one to land, too. And it has multiple uses because you can use it against terrain in an interesting manner to kite around and pull yourself into or out of fights. So I love this hook. And we were playing it... Weren't we playing it, me and you? I was playing Not, and you were playing, I think, Thresh. And we were double hooking people. Oh.
Couldn't get away.
That combination is just absurd. You hook them and flay them. I come in and hook them and then slow them. And then I stun them with my passive. Like, that person is beyond dead between those two people. So, Not Thresh, crazy combo. Next, we have Nidori. Some changes coming to her after her small rework she saw. We'll see how these affect her. Her base, just some general stats being changed. Base health going up 20 points, and base armor going up 2 points. Passively, her Prowl nearly can now restore 10% movement speed in all directions while hunting, which increases to 30% movement speed towards hunted targets. Kitty speed limits. At any one time, Nidalee can never receive more than a total of 30% movement speed from the hunted and bush movement speed bonuses. So she can't jump to a bush while someone's being hunted and receive crazy bonuses. It can only be up to 30%. Next,
That's a good change.
Yeah, it's a good change. Next, they changed the javelin toss. They widened it out a little bit from 30 to 40, so it's a little bit easier because it was being tough for the unskillful.
Or anybody. Like 30 is not that big of a missile.
I saw somebody doing a good job with it the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bushwhack targets that trigger a trap now only marked as hunted if Nidalee is within 3,000 units of them, not just anywhere on the map. Cooldown on that is being changed from 17 from 9 to 13 to 9 seconds. So better scaling early on with that. The damage is going to be reduced though. Instead of 12 to 20% of the target's current health, it's going to be 10 to 18. Small tweak there. And they had a small bug fix on that where it revealed enemy wards.
The cool thing right here is just the cooldown reduction at early ranks, because now, like, she's primarily played top lane now, and jungle. You can, and jungle, I guess, but you can trap like the river the tri-bush and the like the lane bush at the very front,
Yeah.
and have those 3 wards up, or like have those 3 things up, and basically be impervious to ganks for a while, because now you have aspect of the cougar and then pounce. So
I don't know, because I haven't played a lot of top lane recently, a little bit with Rengar, but would she be an okay Rengar counter? With the bush traps?
She's a little bit too squishy.
That's what I'm thinking. That would be the problem.
Because when she like R's and pounces away, Rengar can just jump out of the bush and kill her.
Yeah, it'd be a positioning battle. I'm interested to see how that would go, though.
But you can range him down pretty easily, because most people max E like Primal Surge first.
You can, and if you want to, and if he steps on a trap in a bush and jumps out at you, if you just switch into Cougar form and just pounce on his face, yeah, you might actually do a pretty good job with that bite. So.
Because her bite does way too much damage.
Yeah, it's like old school AD Nidalee is totally back, which I really enjoyed playing back in the day. I remember when Luke used to only play that. Next is Pounce. Pounce range 750 now from 700. It's going up a little bit. Pounce on a hunted target now puts Nidalee at 75 units in the direction instead of 150 in the opposite. So small tweak change there, actually.
Yeah.
And then
That's
on
good.
Primal Surge, the mana cost of that is being reduced at later ranks. So small change there, that would be nice. And then on her ultimate, Aspect of the Cougar, triggering the hunt resets Aspect of the Cougar's cooldown for Nidalee is in human form.
Because there was times where like you'd be like, for instance, roaming or something, you'd be in Cougar form and jumping, and then you come out and throw a spear and like hit somebody, and then you'd have 5 or 6 seconds that you couldn't transform back to Pounce. So now that when you trigger the hunt, it resets and you can switch back to R right away.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good change. But she's still pretty weak, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much amazing play on either sides. I've seen some good stuff and I've seen some meh.
Yeah.
So
there's
I think
too
people
much
need to
meh.
get used to it. It's kind of like
Groggy.
Yeah, kind of like Groggy. I've seen some people do fine with him. He does an okay job against some of those bruisers in top.
Yeah, but if he goes up against a Lulu or something ranged up top, which is primarily what you see up there now, it's
well, they still need to change the Lulu. But
yeah.
Next
I'm tired
is
of saying that champion.
Yeah, I am too, actually. Next we actually have Rengar. On his empowered Bola, it just now correctly slows on top of the root.
So this is actually a small buff.
Yeah,
People who play Rengar a lot, like, because the root would end and then they wouldn't be slowed, and you, like if you double E, because obviously you used your first E to root, so
you would have had to not stack your CC. You needed to.
Yeah, this is okay. I mean, the slow isn't that big of a deal, but I'm actually still surprised that we haven't seen a nerf to Rengar. This is going on 3 patches now that he's been just broken.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I don't know. I think they just bring his base damage down, or his base damage on his Q a little bit.
Yeah.
Next we have Skarner. They're going to change his Q, his Crystal Slash a little bit. They're actually going to be taking the physical damage down on it by a few points. Not so much early, it's more so late game. And then the bonus magic damage, same thing there. It's more so late game, not so much early. A little bit early, but it scales to late game, being taken off more. The bonus movement speed on that per stack is also going down 1%. Not a huge amount. They're just trying to tweak it back a little bit. He is decently strong early. Still not sure he has a great place, but...
Especially in solo queue, like where you don't have like the team cooperation that you do in like ranked 5s or like even given God LCS. Like,
yeah.
if you can't coordinate your stunt, like your slows and stuff, to keep Skarner away from your like back line, and it can just like exoskeleton, flash, alt, bring someone all the way back, and it was just, and then the stun on top of that was just a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I still think he struggles from the same problems, even though he's being played a little bit more.
Yeah, he still has weird issues, but he's better, though, than where he was.
Yeah.
Next on his Impale, fixed a bug where Skarner could occasionally throw out basic attacks while impaling a target. That's weird. Next, we have Vladimir. Sanguine Pool. Vladimir can now cast summoner spells and use items while he's in his pool, which I don't mind. It helps make him slightly more viable.
Well, there's been a few times where like you tower dive or something, kill a person, and sanguine pool out, and the tower could hit you. I could understand how that is good, but like I think Vlad's still not in meta. It's
Well, he's
that
not.
tricky AP top laner. You're either going to be Lulu and Kale, or you're going to be Rumble or someone stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Next we have Yajimbo.
Yes! Yasuo.
Sweeping Blade is E. The bonus damage cap, instead of 100% at 4 stacks, it's 50% at 2 stacks. So it's been cut in half. So
They could have had that scale. Like level 1, only have it be 50, and then level, like, what is it?
60,
5,
yeah,
have it be 100 or something.
Scale it up
but,
would be better, but
yeah, because what people would do is just take E first and then get full stacks and then go in and hit someone with it, or like
Murder.
auto E auto, and they'd be like almost dead.
yeah, it's nuts. It was a lot. So small nerf, but needed.
Yeah, he's still too strong.
Next we have Zac, who we haven't seen in a while. The Unstoppable Matter on his W, picking up a chocolate. Reduces the cooldown of Unstable Matter by 1 second. That's new. Also
That's
new
good.
is whenever Zac hits a jungle monster with Unstoppable Matter, he can walk through the monster.
That's really good too.
Yeah, it is actually. I like that.
These
Cooldown
good
is 5
changes.
seconds instead of 4.
But the passive you're gonna get, it's basically like making it so if you don't hit anything with your W, then it's gonna have the same cooldown.
Yeah, I like that. This
Or
is
if you, yeah.
This is
Oh,
just going to help him out once again. He's one of those tankier junglers that's going to be affected a lot more in this patch.
Yeah.
So-
Not quite as good as some of the other ones, I don't think, because he's more of a diver than he is a peeler, but
Yeah.
I think it's good.
But still good.
Definitely good.
Next, we have Ziggs, who's going to get a small tweak. His movement
Thank
speed
the Lord.
is going down 5, and his bouncing bomb explosion target detection is the radius on it's going down a tiny bit too. I don't know if this is the best way to tweak him, but whatever.
Well, he's not that. The thing is I don't think he's.
I don't think he's OP
like,
anymore ever since they
overpowered or
took away his
something,
clear.
But when you have Ziggs on your team, it's almost like if he gets blue buff, he's almost like a Nivea to push against. Like you're not going to push against Ziggs with blue buff. So like
It's hard.
Very, it creates unnecessary problems just because you could like clear stuff so
I don't
easily,
really
and that's
understand
still a
I don't
problem.
really understand the movement speed change, but
He's pretty fast for a mid laner. Like now he's on par with I think Cassidy has 325 or maybe
I think
he's at
Caston was
330.
350 and they took him down to 335.
Yeah. So, but I guess he's a melee against a ranged champion. I don't know. It's kind of a whatever change. I don't think it'll affect it that much.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't. They have made some changes to Shyvana Thresh and Vi. Their hitboxes weren't quite accurate enough, so they have actually been increased slightly. They're claiming that there should be no visual change and that there's going to be no changes to a lot of it, but yeah, these champions are slightly bigger now.
Good.
I like the Shyvana one, maybe the Vi one. The Thresh one's interesting.
Yeah. Well, he was pretty big
Yeah,
for not getting hit a lot.
I
guess.
agree. So small changes to them. So if you play these champions, you might get hit by a few more things now because their hitboxes are slightly bigger, about 15 units.
Or 27% of a team.
27.3% of a team. Which is not that much because Teemo's tiny.
Yeah.
Updated splash arts are coming to Caitlyn and Urgot.
They both look really good.
They do
but
look really good. I like Caitlyn. Urgot's is good. It's better. I don't care about Urgot. But Caitlyn's looks sweet. It's actually my background on my cell phone.
Oh my gosh. No,
So-
I think that both these champions are kind of going to see a back seat for a while, so it's cool, but at the same time...
I still like Caitlyn a lot. I still think she's good. She'll still always be viable to the point because of her range.
Well, as hyper carries become more prevalent, she's going to become less prevalent.
I do agree with that, but if you want a strong laning phase, if you don't want to be screwed over in the laning phase, you'll pick her.
Yeah, you need to either pick her and win before 25 minutes, or before the opposing AD carry hits 3 items, or you're going to lose. So, niche pick, I think, against teams that like want to just dominate lane. And
Also, we're
stuff
looking
out
at
of
seeing a
control.
visual update for her too.
Really?
They're working on one.
Good.
That's the talk on the town at least. So
That's what we call foreshadowing, people.
foreshadowing. We've done this in almost every patch notes.
Yeah.
Next, we have some item changes happening in this game.
We should just skip the beginning and just go straight to jungle items.
Jungle items. Hunter's Machete. Now costs 25 more gold, but 5 damage reduction versus monsters, and now 10 attack damage versus monsters. They've removed the other two parts of it though, where it no longer uses unique passives of Mail and Butcher. So, name. So small change there.
So obviously you're only going to be able to buy 4 pots instead of 5.
Yeah.
But
You'll have
I've
10
been
gold.
playing the PvE quite a bit, and this, like, you can't even tell the difference. You don't run through your pots.
No,
on anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Added to the game.
New item.
New item.
Heart of gold.
Why does it look like a beaver to me in the small picture at the top of it?
It does look like a beaver
head. So this is
beaver
gonna be.
with, like,
I'm dubbing it the
antlers on his
beaver
shoulders.
coat.
Beaver coat.
Beaver coat is now going to cost you a hunter's machete and a cloth armor plus 75 gold. Total cost of 700. It's going to give you 20 armor. Its passive is called Sapping Barbs. Attacking monsters will lose 5% of their maximum health over 3 seconds, up to 150. Wearer gains 40 health regeneration per 5 seconds and 30 mana regeneration per 5 seconds when in combat with monsters. Actively, the Hunter's Ward...
Monsters, not minions.
Monsters, not minions. Is that what I said? What did I say?
No, you said it correct, but I just wanted to reiterate the fact that
it's monsters.
I saw a lot of people buy it in PvE just because they thought it worked with.
They thought lane minions.
Yeah.
This isn't the innervating locket. It doesn't work that way.
Yes.
And then Hunter's Ward places a stealth ward, reveals the area for 180 seconds, also 180 second cooldown. It's cheap. I like it.
This
big stats.
The inclusion of this item in the game, I think, is going to pretty much say see you later to all of the Feral Fire junglers.
There's only 2 champions I'll pick up Flare on.
Yeah.
2.
Like, I don't understand why they came out with the item and then it was good on everybody and then
nerfed the shit out of it.
Way too much, and so it's not good on anybody.
Maybe they'll maybe they'll buff it back up a little bit and find a better place for it.
I just think that they want, like, I personally think that Riot doesn't like the assassin jungler meta. Like, they didn't like the assassin jungler meta.
I think they just like changing the game all the time to make people adapt.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that could be a good point, but
I think that's what they like to do. I think they like to screw with the game a lot on purpose.
Yeah, you're gonna see Jarvan become a good early game jungler as well now, even though he already is kind of seeing rise in popularity.
Junglers now too.
Well, that's because of the next item. But
that's true because of the next item, but because of the changes to the tank junglers too.
Yeah, correct.
But the next change is to the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Same cost, unchanged, except for it's gonna build from the coat now, the Badger coat, or Beaver coat, not Badger coat.
Whoa! We can't just name drop like that.
My bad. And then the Kindle Gem now instead of the Spirit Stone, and 200 gold, 2,000 gold. Sorry, same price. You get a little bit less health. You get 200 instead of 350, but you get 20 armor, and you get 25% bonus health. Ka-ching!
Bonus health.
You still get the Sapping Barbs, and you still get the Hunter's Ward. Hooray, tanky junglers are back.
So, once again, don't want to just kind of ruin anybody's time, but I was playing Zoc in the PvE, and I had this item, and I had a Sunfire Cape and a Randuin's, and I had 5,000 health. And so that is just like a ridiculous amount of health for having 3 items, especially because those items aren't expensive. Like, this is 2,000. Sunfire Cape's like, what, 2,900 or something, 2,700 or something? And then Randuin's is, what, 3,000? So, like, that's very obtainable by 25 minutes into the game, and that's a lot of help for that point in the game. So, champions like Nautilus and the Tree and Volibear and
the Tree
and Udyr. I think Udyr's going to be a really good like healer. Udyr.
Oh dear.
I think he's going to be a pretty legit like peeler, especially if the hyper carry meta takes off. And so this is a really good item.
Well, look out for Blade of the Ruined King builds.
Yeah, that's true, but it does give armor, and like you're probably going to be building like with this item, you could probably get away with building a Frozen Heart and then like a Sunfire Cape and a Frozen Heart instead of a Sunfire Cape and a Randuin's. So I think it's going to be pretty close. It'll be.
Or they'll pick up Heart and Omen and just be unkillable.
Yeah, or else you're just not. You're just.
And then they'll pick up Locket and they'll have enough magic resist because it'll be only 1 AP caster. So.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's the slight change. Another change also to Spirit Stone. Combined cost
evenings.
Yeah, it is going down. Magic Razor going up 25 gold in cost, and Regal's Lantern's going
Down.
down.
25.
But total cost remains the same because the Razor is up. So, yeah. Attack damage items. The Essence Reaver. Attack damage is now granting 60.
I absolutely hate this item.
I like it on one champion so far, maybe two.
Jace?
Jace would be one of them, but I still haven't played it on him. The other one is Ezreal.
I don't even like it on Ezreal. Ezreal's just super weak right now.
I know you think he's super weak right now. I think he's still okay-ish. It's all the
like,
player.
It's not.
It's
not
all player
him.
skill on Ezreal.
It's not him as a champ. Like it's not. He's just so unreliable because all of his like stuff is skill shots, and
that's why it's all about the player. That's why I like him.
That, but he's just so weak if he builds this first. That like if you build him build Ezreal, then you're gonna have to kite the entire map.
If you build this first, you fall behind if you can't build it right away.
Correct.
I will say
like
if
you don't get ahead, you're gonna fall behind to the point where you can't catch up.
I think that's why they added more damage to it.
Which should help a little bit, but like, are you gonna tell me that you're gonna be able to beat like Ezreal rushes Essence Reaver and Tristana rushes Blade of the Rune King or Caitlyn or Draven or anyone else rushes IE? Well, it's relatively cheap. It's what is it, 2,600 gold?
It's 26.
Like that's what 800 gold away from. I don't know. It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, but 800 gold then if you pick up more lifesteal. It's got lifesteal in it too, which people like since nobody's been building lifesteal.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do double Dorn if you don't want. You can just go straight for your Reaver.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's in a weird place. I agree. But I don't mind it on Ezreal.
Into contention, and then it'll be way OP on someone, and then they'll nerf it again.
Well, yeah, that exactly is what's gonna happen. I thought we talked about these changes last time.
Well, they just suggested them, but now it's like. Are you talking the
queuing with people?
Yeah.
Silver 3 can queue with someone as up to Gold 1 or Bronze 5. It's one division.
Yeah.
So a diamond can't queue with a silver.
Well, so it's just one division. So a bronze can't queue with a gold, and so that's we talked about this last patch.
Yeah,
so
they're just implementing
much needed.
So it makes sense. So we don't get stupid. I hate stupid pairings if that ever happens in ranked. Although I don't really play ranked currently because it's boring. Changes to some bots. Public chat rooms are becoming a problem. Basically, Riot doesn't want you talking to anybody anymore.
The purpose.
Public chat rooms have been disabled.
Public chat rooms have been disabled. Oh well, that's
whatever.
That's kind of dumb. Like, I understand why, but as long as you can still have private chat rooms, I don't care.
Yeah, same thing. Who cares? Multiple players in game no longer unfriends. Blah blah blah. Block list.
When was the last time that you entered a public chat room?
Like a month ago. For fun
really?
to see if they still were there. I didn't even know. I was just checking. I don't think I said anything.
Like 2 years.
I think I said Ermergerd and then left.
Ermergerd?
Yeah.
You got scammed.
I got scammed. And then next we have some upcoming skins. We have Hazmat Heimerdinger and Soulstealer Vladimir. I talked about Hazmat Heimerdinger in the Curse League update last week. This week I will be talking about Soulstealer Vladimir.
Go check those videos out.
Go check those videos out. Curse Entertainment. YouTube. Yeah. Heimerdinger doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs another skin. There's a million.
His turrets look pretty sweet in that skin.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. They got like little files on the side. It's pretty cool.
That's kind of funny. And then Soulstealer Vladimir is just a combination of Vladimir and Thresh.
His auto attack animation eyes are really funky.
Maybe people play. Maybe people
it's like a black
Vlad
blob.
again. Remember when Rumble got a skin and people played him for a day?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much how it is with every skin. I can't think of one skin that has came out that hasn't been
played for a short time.
Yeah.
The ultimate skins.
They need to come out with a Scion skin every day.
That'll do it.
That'll make.
Guys, we figured out a way for people to play.
That will bring Scion's play rate from 0.001 to 1% of games.
That is patch notes though.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting patch. I'm pretty excited to see this.
Some nice changes in it.
No more killing my face.
I like the turret ones. The turret ones. I like the turret one.
The turrets is something huge, and then also the tank junglers are the two main points, obviously.
Yeah, those are the big ones. Slight tweaks to Kale was also pretty nice. So.
Yep.
But that is the patch notes for patch 4.11. Thank you for joining us for this patch. Don't forget to check out Kyle's channel in the description if you want to do that. If you don't, I mean, nobody will blame you either. Joke's on you. But yeah, it's going to be patch. Hopefully you guys learned something and this helps you out in future weeks. And we will see you in the next patch notes. Bye-bye.
Bye.